you've so far mentioned 2 of our DVDs. I think.
How many do you have? I don't want to set a goal here.
We have dozens. We have dozens of them. Maybe 3-4 dozen that we've produced ourselves. We sell a few third party, but the one you mentioned, Bobby McGee, is great, and we'd be happy to share all that information with you, and to help people sort of navigate to our products through you, so you can help them in their out-season training. I was just going to say, you're plugging our company more than I have.
Oh, well.
But I appreciate it. So you've talked about, maybe let's talk a little bit more specifically about the objectives for the out season. Let's just hone it in a little bit.
Well, there's definitely some mistakes that athletes can make, and then there's some really good things they can do. I like to kind of approach it from what not to do first, and then kind of focus. Okay, from that we learn that and go through some positive things. The first thing I think that a lot of people have learned is to take some time off. That you need a downtime, you need some unstructured time, just mental refreshing, but it really doesn't need to be that long. So the key, a lot of new athletes, I guess, coming in, maybe did a half season this season, they're all fired up and ready to go, and they just don't want to take a break at all. And I would encourage those to take a break for a few weeks, because next season is going to be a long season, and they'd rather take that break and kind of bank that de-stress time now and have a great season next year than get halfway through next season and then be feeling what everyone else is feeling right now. So take a little bit of time off, but not too much time off, so that physically your body needs a lot of time to develop lower limb durability. So when athletes are taking too much time off, they can lose that. Older senior athletes, masters, can tend to lose muscle mass if they don't keep up, if they don't do the right training. So there's certain things like that you definitely want to do. But looking at most of the athletes, it used to be where training in the off season or the out season is the competitive advantage. So if you're training then when everyone else is not, then you have an advantage going into next year and you're going to progress. But now, based on what I'm hearing from athletes and then our study last week, almost 90% of athletes are training just about year round, taking about 3-4 weeks off, but they're training. So the competitive advantage and the difference maker is how they spend that time. And so from that respect, I just encourage athletes to not just mentally take time off, not get lazy in their thinking and think that they're in a maintenance mode, or some vague, just that activity substitutes for training. Just because you're burning calories and staying active, that doesn't mean you're maintaining abilities or progressing. There's a lot of things you can do that actually allow your fitness to deteriorate even though you're moderately active. And I know activities, doing something's better than doing nothing usually. But you have to be very purposeful. We did a study, I guess it was 2 years ago in 2011, on the out season. It was smaller than the one that we're doing this year, but it's still almost 100 athletes. And during the out season phase alone, by being just intentional about their time, how they spent their hours, they were able to increase their 800-meter swim, their 100-meter pace by 18 seconds, and their bike ability by 2.1 miles per hour, and their 10K run pace by 32 seconds per mile, which is a huge gain on diminished hours, and that was about a 14-week average training phase. So imagine, drastically reducing your hours and coming out that much stronger and fit, going into next year.
So is there structure and periodization within